Hi, President Burwell. My name is Colin Wesselkamper, and I'm a freshman in the Kogod School of Business.
We have a freshman.
Yes,
You were a freshman. Thank you, Colin.
Do you need a buddy for midterms or anything?
I was
You're like, it's a little late on that advice.
Yeah, a tad bit intimidated in a classroom full of seniors here.
I didn't know you were a freshman.
I am indeed. But my question is, I know during your time as the Secretary of Health and Human Services that you had to craft responses to many crises in the United States. How did you deal with these high-pressure situations, and how did these lessons shape your career?
It was a defining part of my experience at HHS in terms of the question of the crises, because there were so many consecutively and at the same time. So whether it was the fact that when I arrived, I was confirmed June 9th, had to make decisions the next 2 and 3 days on the technology for the marketplace. You all may remember there were some challenges with the website in the first year.
You could have used these guys on that first website.
And so needed to do that. Within the first 10 days, Hobby Lobby versus Burwell is decided by the Supreme Court against us. At the same time, I start within 3 weeks the Operations Center and Command Center for Ebola at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And
That's
by
amazing.
July 4th, I spend my July 4th trying to figure out how to get 4 and 5-year-olds who are on the border. These are the young people who come up through, and they're 4, 5, and 6-year-olds whose parents decided it was better to send them alone on a journey 1,000 miles than to have them stay in their environment at home. And so trying to place those children. And there were, that year, there were over 45,000 children that came across the border. So your question is, for me, very, very real, because one was just facing crisis after crisis. So there are a number of things that I think are important when one is facing those kinds of issues. Number one is quickly getting, as you can, to clarity of your goals and your priorities in the crisis. And that's about getting to what are the most important levers and the objectives that you are trying to achieve. And prioritizing, because in crisis, you can't do everything and it feels like you need to do everything. But you've got to get to those priorities that will then lead to number 2, a dashboard. This is a practical tool, but a very important one, because the dashboard forces how are you going to measure that success, the prioritization, and the other thing is it links the communities externally and internally to what the core goals are. So it is a means by which you get everyone on board, pulling their oars in the same direction. And then the third thing I would say that's extremely important is team. Using a team. Making sure that you have a team both in terms of delegation and in terms of listening.